Hare Krishna. I'd like to take this opportunity to encourage all of you, if you have not already, to read Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava, which His Holiness Bhakti Vikasa Swami spent more than 20 years researching the life and teachings of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. By reading this book, we learn about our dynamic heritage, where Krishna consciousness is coming from, how Srila Prabhupada was ordered to come because of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So you get to hear all about his incredible preaching mission, how after being raised by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, very, very carefully cultivated in his Krishna consciousness, and how he, as a young man, after his gurus had disappeared, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, within about a 14-month period, they both left this world. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was feeling very despondent that without them, he said, now who will chastise me? Now who will edit whatever I write? Who will proofread it and critique it, as Srila Bhaktivinoda did? And he just withdrew. He no longer wanted to interact with anyone. He was feeling despondent. And then one evening, he had a vision. And in this vision, he saw right before his eyes Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the 6 Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, the entire Panchatattva, and a host of others. They appeared to him and said, "What are you doing? You have come to this world for the mission of delivering the message of Lord Chaitanya. So get up and know that we are with you for this task that you're to undertake. All resources will be there. All people of intelligence will be there to assist you. So arise and do it." So he was so inspired that he began his preaching all over India in such a revolutionary and dynamic way. One thing that you will learn upon reading this book is the fierce opposition that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was up against. We have no idea. We think it may be a little difficult to preach for us, but when you hear of how several times his very life was threatened because of his preaching, you will feel great appreciation for it. And in this book, you actually hear about these apasampradayas and what their philosophy is and how he was able to defeat them. And then how he trained his brahmacharis and sannyasis to be preachers themselves. And also there's some mystical experiences of how right there by the Chaitanya Mat, how the Panchatattva personally appeared, how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he actually preached to the residents of Svetadvip who came to see him. You'll hear about these kinds of experiences. And then also his very sad disappearance, that also is mystical. And just how even traveling, the trains would stop, he would get off the train and he would talk to people. Some disciples that may have lived in the area would come to greet him at the train station, and the whole entire train would stop and people would come out and listen to him. He had such a profound effect on the consciousness of many, many thousands of people in India. And you'll hear about his theistic exhibition. We know about our Festival of India, which is maybe like a square block, and it's very wonderful. But his Festival of India, the theistic exhibition, would go on for about a month, and it went for like a square mile, and all kinds of different kinds of forms to attract people of all different mentalities and walks of lives, and not just to wander around eating pizza and things like that, but to actually hear in front of every exhibit would be a brahmachari who was there to explain what the exhibit meant. And so it's very, very enlivening. It's actually one of my most favorite books in the whole world, and it has changed my life reading it, just to hear what a wonderful heritage that we come from. So Hare Krishna.